Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx back in the DJ City UK lab. Now, one of the reasons that I got into making videos about DJ technology is that I love to play with new kit. And nobody could ever buy all of the new stuff that comes through. So in my case, we get it through, I review it on the channel and it goes back, and it just means I get a chance to play with all this cool stuff which the industry is releasing. Today though, we're going a step further. We are looking at the Pioneer TOUR1 system. And I would say there's a pretty good chance after today, I will never get a chance to play with this again, because this is not for me. It's not for you. It's not for any human being to buy. This is aimed at the big PA companies that do festivals like Tomorrowland, EDC, that kind of stuff, for people who put together global tours for DJs. It's not for normal people to buy, but it is still really interesting because it's kind of like, the high-end Lamborghini of the DJ equipment world. This is the stuff which you might well see some technology trickle down into more accessible products as time goes on, and maybe it does give us a window into directions that Pioneer DJ want to go with their record box platform. So yeah, I definitely want to get up and close with this and show you all around it. Now, this is not a review. Firstly, because I never really review anything that I haven't DJ'd with, in a club environment. I won't do it, because until you get stuff in that dark, loud space, you don't know some of the problems that might come up. And I didn't take this out to gig. Firstly, because a lot of the features on here would be pretty useless in the environments that I play. So no one's got the kind of hookups, the digital hookups and stuff for this that would really test its mettle. But also because it is worth a fortune. And there's no way I was going to take all of this out to a gig and take a chance that some idiot's going to spill a beer into it. No way. It's too much. I'm quite brave about that stuff normally, but this stuff, no. And in terms of price, listen, if you have to ask how much this is, you can't afford it. Again, it's not aimed at human beings. We're talking thousands for each device. Is it good value? Who cares? Because when you're spending, $150,000 on a sound desk, a few $1,000 for your actual playback devices isn't such a big step. So yeah, we're just going to take a really close look at it, see what the technology is all about, what it brings to the table that's new, because there is a lot of new stuff here. Let's get down to it. There are two components to the TOUR1 system. First, we have the DJM-TOUR1, which is a beefed up, wider take on the DJM-900 Nexus 2, with quite a few new features added onto it. It's very big and very heavy, but that's of no concern in the environments that it's intended to be used in. The CDJ-TOUR1 doesn't have quite as many improvements over the existing CDJ-2000 Nexus 2, the functionality of those models being almost identical by comparison, besides of course the screens. And those screens are big, 13 inches big. I'll get onto the functionality later, but as you can see, they are very beefy and have a wide variety of positions, including laid down almost flat. The hinges are massive, really chunky, and the build of both the players and the mixer really inspires confidence. They really feel like proper roadworthy gear. They come with an adjustable shade which bolts onto the top to prevent glare, and that does feel a bit cheap compared to the kit it's being mounted onto, although it is very flexible. The existing Nexus 2 setup sounds great already, but Pioneer DJ have beefed up the audio quality of both these units, with higher quality internal components used over any Pioneer DJ gear previously. The TOUR1 system also has a set of true professional connections. The CDJ have improved RCA connectors for the analog and digital outputs, and all of the Ethernet ports on the system for the Pro DJ Link hookup have been switched out for Neutrik Ethercon system, a much sturdier connector than the regular RJ45 sockets. They are backwards compatible with regular Ethernet connectors though, as you can see from my setup, which could be useful. It's also good just to have multiple link ports on the mixer itself, as per the DJM-2000, much more convenient than a separate switch. The mixer also gains XLR sockets for the booth output. Now, whilst the regular 900 Nexus 2 has balance jacks on the booth, having XLRs there means less thinking about different cable types in a big rig. The only missed opportunity on the connection front, I think, is that Pioneer DJ have stuck to regular IEC connectors for power. I'd have liked to see Neutrik's PowerCon sockets on here, which are lockable, preventing any potential accidental disconnects. When it comes to linking to a high-end digital front-of-house desk, the DJM-TOUR1 has it all covered, with a digital AES-3 output combined with a word clock input to ensure the highest possible digital audio chain. This really is the kind of stuff which will only make a difference in arena type situations, but for that market, it's a huge feature. When it comes to playing on the DJM-TOUR1, the mixing surface feels instantly familiar after using the 900 Nexus 2. It's got everything cool from that model, like the Magvel fader and the superb effects setup, plus some awesome extra features. I love having the send and return jacks on top of the mixer, much easier to access, and the extra aux channel is great with balanced line level XLR inputs and a dedicated fader. The real killer though for DJ changeovers and back-to-back sets is the second Q circuit. Besides the regular headphone setup, you get a whole extra one on the other side, which works just like the main setup, but completely independent of it. The flexibility it offers is like nothing else on the market, and I'd love to see that make its way onto their regular club mixer range. It's wonderful. As I said earlier, the CDJ-TOUR1 in the body of the unit doesn't really add much over the 2000 Nexus 2 players, but it's hard to think of anything that's really lacking from those anyway. One thing that is worth noting is that the DJSP1 is still supported as an add-on controller, as with the Nexus 2, and can now have the decks assigned in any way you want. A big improvement, and that's also made its way to the Nexus 2 in a firmware update. Big respect to Pioneer for making that change. So let's get onto these screens. They are touch screens, which means the CDJs now have two touch surfaces to work with. What Pioneer have not done is move any performance features to the big screens, which is smart considering their placement. They are reserved for two things: browsing and loading your tracks, and to give a bigger view of the waveforms for everything linked up in the system. You've got the powerful track filtering system from the regular kit and QWERTY search with a nice big keyboard. Responsiveness is excellent, and with such big targets to aim at, adjusting the view and sorting options is a breeze. The DJM-TOUR1 screen is even more powerful really, as it lets you not only browse all the media in the system, as the CDJs can, but you can also load tracks to any connected deck. Plus you have a really detailed vertical view mode for waveform display, with audio levels included as well. I do wonder if maybe some regular large clubs might actually decide to plump for a setup of a DJM-TOUR1 with a brace of 4 Nexus 2 CDJs. To me, you're then getting most of the really cool stuff from the tour rig, but saving a lot of money on the decks. Sadly, the original Nexus decks aren't able to link with the DJM-TOUR1 without losing a load of the tour features, so you will need the latest CDJs for that. And of course, HID mode for record box DJ and so on is still supported. You've still got the audio interfaces in the mixer itself, so you're losing nothing over the existing Nexus 2 setup there. I think for a lot of DJs, the screens will in the end be a love or a hate thing. For me, part of the beauty of playing off an SD card or USB stick is that I don't have a big screen between myself and a crowd, but then I don't play on the main stage at Tomorrowland 50 feet from the closest audience member anyway. I'd love to see the possibility of having an optional plug-in screen for a future regular DJM mixer though, to give you that extra information without the huge additional cost of having it built into the hardware. That would be a really cool innovation for sure. So there you go, a good close-up look at the Pioneer TOUR1 system. In the end, I'm just grateful that this exists. It's not for me, it's not for you, it's not for your average club. This is for a very specific market, but it is Pioneer DJ saying, look, DJ equipment doesn't have to be a second-class citizen within your giant PA setup. This is going to compete on the same level. We've got the hookups that you need. We've got the durable connections that you need. This is stuff that will play in that pro audio space very well, and I think that's cool, and I respect them for doing that. There is a lot of technology on here that I would kind of like to see trickle down to other kit. The idea of having just a separate touchscreen perhaps, you know, hooked up to a regular mixer or CDJs, that's really interesting to me. But in the end, yeah, this is like a concept car. You know, we'll have to see what comes of this in the future. But in the meantime, it's pretty cool just to have got a chance to play with it. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.